Hi, everybody, and welcome to Thursday's show. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. I want to make mention, as I'm trying to still keep everyone up to date on the Foothills feed, they're still working tirelessly. They've been installing new equipment, and as soon as it is tweaked, they're starting to narrow and fine-tune the problems. They're getting fewer and farther between, but I know we're still having some with audio and or video, but just please bear with us. And once they are tweaked and fine-tuned, oh, it should be very smooth sailing from that point further. So bear with us a short time longer. I do know firsthand they are working on it quite feverishly to make sure that they can get it all taken care of as soon as possible. There's never been a day, perhaps never will be, it might have been one or two, but except with the exception of those couple of days over the course of 17 years, I've never come in here and gotten everything done that I needed to do. Late last night, made out my list, still trying to catch up with all, of course, the flood coverage that I missed while on vacation. And then this morning, while packing up to head to Johnson County, realized that I had left a camera bag completely full of equipment at the Sunday Best show last night. I only tell you this because I need to thank a few folks, even more so than I already have. I had that sinking pit and feeling in my stomach and started to make phone calls to reach any and everyone who might have been over there. And after a couple of hours of making calls, I did receive a call back, and I don't know who they were, but I know someone with the sound and stage crew when closing up last night and tearing down found it, and they gave it to, I don't even know her last name, but Kara, who works at the school, I think over in Johnson Central, and her husband, JR. They had it in their possession, took very good care of it, and I was reunited with it this afternoon to much delight. First time, hopefully the last time I've ever left something that serious behind. So, I'm behind the eight ball more than usual, but we did speak with representatives of Team Rubicon, one of the vast dozens of organizations and churches who have descended on Johnson County to try to help flood victims. They've got a really great story to tell. And Sunday Best, well, they also had a story to tell last night talking about the event. I'll take you to that. We have a couple of things. We have several things on the drug-related front, and that's where we'll start off this evening. And I've also learned on that note that there have been several arrests in Paintsville, a 19-year-old Brittany Music, a 20-year-old April Haney, a 25-year-old Matthew Meek, and a 35-year-old Philip Bergen. From what I understand, the Paintsville Police Department's been conducting an investigation, and after more than a month of work, they went to a Paintsville residence, found drugs, paraphernalia, and a significant amount of cash. Jonathan Holbrook, a detective with the police force, says that, from what I understand, they went to the elite apartment complex concerning high drug traffic, possibly. That's near the Paintsville swimming pool. Detective Holbrook, as well as Assistant Chief Mike Rowe, and others went to a location and conducted a knock and talk. A female gave them consent to go inside the apartment and consented to the search. Holbrook and Rowe quickly discovered questionable items, they say, that were associated with a vast array of drug activity. They also say that upon further search they were able to locate several items: smoking pipes, baggies with crystal substances or a crystal substance inside, blue pills, snorting straws, other substances believed to be marijuana, one of them, over $2,000 in cash. 4 people, as I told you, were arrested. At least one of them, I'm sure, and maybe even 2, were still in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center up on airtime, facing charges ranging from drug paraphernalia to buy or possess, possession of a controlled substance, trafficking, and possession of a controlled substance in a 3rd degree. And we always want to tag, as we always do. Chief Holbrook says that if you have any information in the Paintsville area, to call the City Police Department at 789-2603. You can also, of course, leave your name, and also you can remain anonymous as well. They believe it is the first case of its kind. A federal judge has sentenced a Clay County man to life in prison for illegally distributing prescription drugs that caused the death of another person. Today, District Judge Karen Caldwell sentenced 55-year-old Terry Smith for distribution of a controlled substance resulting in death. Because of his criminal history, he received a mandatory life sentence under federal law. He has prior felony convictions for robbery in the 1st degree, for which he was sentenced to 20 years and then was later paroled, as well as possession of a controlled substance in the 1st degree, for which he received a probated sentence as well. But Judge Caldwell also sentenced him today to 360 months in addition to the life sentence. This for conspiracy to distribute oxycodone, and 120 months for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Both sentences will run concurrently with the life sentence. His wife, Jerry, I'm told, who is 53, received 90 months in prison for conspiring with her husband and others to distribute oxycodone. They tell me this does mark, they believe, the first time in Kentucky's history that a life sentence has been imposed in an overdose case involving prescription drugs. The evidence reportedly showed that a jury, examining that evidence, convicted Smith of the charges following a 5-day trial. Evidence suggested that he sponsored Patty Smallwood and other individuals to travel to an out-of-state pain clinic called Georgia Health Associates to obtain oxycodone. They would come back. Smith would pay for them to fill these prescriptions at the community drug pharmacy in Manchester. These individuals then gave the pills to Smith, who kept a portion for himself and divided the rest among the people who made the trip. A Sagersville woman who currently lives in Prestonsburg, is my understanding, has been indicted on charges by a Floyd County grand jury. Attorney General Jack Conway and his Medicaid Fraud and Abuse Control Unit have announced the indictment of a Floyd County clinic owner, Deborah Holliday, who once again, from my understanding, is from Sagersville, but has been currently residing in Prestonsburg for a significant amount of time, on felony charges of Medicaid fraud and theft. The press release from the AG's office says that 50-year-old Holliday owns and operates all family health care in Prestonsburg, which includes services to Medicaid patients. And according to the indictment, from September of 2008 through November of 2012, Holliday engaged in various frauds and actions which caused fraudulent claims to be submitted to Medicaid. She was indicted by a Floyd County grand jury on yesterday on 3 counts of Kentucky Medical Assistance Program fraud over $300, a Class D felony, and 1 count of theft by unlawful taking over $10,000, a Class C felony. Holliday's arraignment has been set for the 27th day of August. It will take place in Floyd Circuit Court. If she were to be convicted, they say she faces a potential sentence of 1 to 5 years on each count of fraud and 5 to 10 years for the theft count. The case was investigated and will be prosecuted by the Attorney General's Medicaid Fraud and Abuse Control Unit. The Cabinet for Health and Family Services Office of Inspector General also aided in the investigation. We're also investigating the ownership of another similar facility under a separate name, which also may have resulted in charges sometime prior in a separate incident. However, this is the only one that's been confirmed as of right now, but an indictment which is merely an accusation and not a declaration of guilt, but an indictment nonetheless by the Floyd County grand jury. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Team Rubicon is one of dozens and dozens of organizations which have ascended on Johnson County to help with flood relief and cleanup efforts. Robert Obernier is the regional administrator who is with them. He spoke to me today out in the field about the organization and about their efforts and a bit about its history. It's an organization of veterans helping communities and helping other vets at the same time. They just got back from Texas. Before that, a month in Nepal. Robert himself, for example, has throughout his experiences, he's been involved with efforts in Hurricanes Katrina, Wilma, and Rita, and a whole lot of other natural disasters. Most recently, he was in Texas for a 72-foot flood rise. More than 300 homes completely destroyed. I believe 9 people died, 1 still unaccounted for. This was just a few weeks ago, mind you. He says that literally Johnson County, while it may be a smaller scope and smaller in number of fatalities and homes affected, is just as serious of a disaster as was that in Texas. He says that's not surprising. What he did consider surprising, and to his delight, was seeing so much happening with neighbors and communities helping each other and coming together.
Johnson County, same type of event. Smaller scale in less number of homes affected, but the damage is still the same. Anytime when you have fast-moving water, you're going to have total destruction, especially near riverbanks, and I'm seeing the same thing here. The effect is the same. I think it's a natural disaster. I was surprised at the level of just working together that I saw immediately. I didn't get here till Monday, so we're talking I think it's 5 days post impact, and the community had already come together really well, and that was, to me, that was very impressive.
They have operations year-round, nationwide. This one dubbed Coal Miner's Daughter. They have 17 deployed in Johnson County, more coming by the weekend, more than 30,000 in all 50 states across the nation. And it all started with 2 Marines who wanted to help after the Haiti quake in 2010.
When they got back, they realized that there's something to this. They had that sense of service, purpose, and mission again that they had when they were in the military. They formed Team Rubicon, the name team for its obvious reasons. We're all a team. Rubicon is the river that Caesar crossed to conquer Rome. You know, it's a win-win. We get to assist victims and survivors of natural disasters, but in doing so, we get that sense, like I was saying earlier, we get that sense of service, purpose, mission, camaraderie, those things that we had when we were in the military and/or public safety. When you leave those professions, you miss that because it's a tight-knit group. You train together, you play together, you work hard together. So, you know, these kids, I call them kids, you know, after 14 years of combat, are coming back and don't have that sense of service. And we have one of our volunteers here with us today is a first-time deployer. And, you know, the comments of, this is what I've been missing in my life. I'm so glad that I found this organization, and you guys welcomed me like I was part of the team immediately. Those same traits are what we learned and what we had when we served in our armed forces and or the public safety.
Think about that. From those 2 Marines a mere 5 years ago, they then went to 8 veterans, then around 800, now 30,000 across this nation. Currently in Johnson County, they're doing muck outs, cleaning the mud out of homes, tree and debris removal, pushing it to the curb. They're meeting with the emergency management director on a regular basis, and they are a complete, full-blown part of the recovery and relief efforts and the community for the time being. They're also well prepared. This mobile command center, donated by the Tyson Company, gives them great support out in the field. A few announcements on your McGoffin County Farm Bureau sponsored community calendar. Vacation Bible School is next week, Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 11 each morning at the Mount Sinai Church on West Maple Street. And the theme, Journey Off the Map. That's right, come and join them for a journey off the map at Vacation Bible School. And the McGoffin County School System is having a school supply drive. You can drop off school supplies at the Board of Education or North McGoffin Elementary. They'll be taking supplies for the next several days. You can also call 349-6117 if you would like to participate. The Simpson United Baptist Church says they're having a Family and Friends Day this Sunday morning at 11, lunch to be served after the service in the Fellowship Hall. This invitation comes to you from Pastor Joe Carroll and everyone at Stinson United Baptist. I think that's just about going to wrap it up for the calendar. Oh, with the exception of a reminder, on the Friday the 31st, that is next Friday, Sayersville Fire Department's hosting a night fishing tournament on the Paintsville Lake. A $1,000 payout is guaranteed. Just $100 per boat to enter. Call the fire department at 349-3256 or 791-3256 to find out more. And that tournament will be, as I closely look at my paper, from 7 in the p.m. to 1 in the a.m. For calendar announcements, birthday, anniversaries, and other announcements, if you want them on the calendar, they're free. Just send them to us. And remember, you can catch programming the following day, see it again, or see it if you missed it on yournewstoday.com. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Well, I mentioned at the top of the program my little incident where I had left a camera behind, and I so graciously was reunited with it thanks to a lot of folks who helped me today. There is some video on that I haven't had time to edit, some interviews with some folks last night with the Sunday Best crowd. I'll maybe get to that tomorrow, and a whole lot of other news that I couldn't squeeze in today. But I did speak with Sunday Best. We spoke with Nick and Chris last night before the show about what they thought about all the efforts which so far, along with a whole lot of other organizations, have raised tens of thousands of dollars for flood relief in Johnson County. And it's for certain that fans can't get enough of Sunday Best. Chris Bentley, Nick Jamerson, who felt right at home last night because to them and the crowd, they were.
I don't know anyone personally, no family members, but it could have been, and it might as well have been, just because people in this area, as long as I've been around, as much as we've been around other places, it's a brotherhood, this area, Eastern Kentucky. And when you're out and you hear people, you meet people that are from this area, there's an automatic connection. Like we said, it's kinfolk. We use that term a lot, and it has never rang more true today than it does today. With all these people that are here. There was a lot of people that were wanting to do something like this. We just kind of got the ball rolling a little bit. And, like we've said it all day, we've talked to different people, different outlets, different interviews, and it just makes me excited and gives me hope that when something like this happens, that we all stand by each other and lift each other up. And it's a beautiful thing.
Thank God for Johnson County. Thank God I'm Southern boy.
This is one of the most inspired I've ever been. This event and doing this, and it's just like he said, given the circumstances, for there to be this many people with smiles on their faces, dancing, kids playing, and everybody kind of coming together, regardless if they're family or not. It's just this is what it's all about.
Thank God for all he's given. Thank God I'm Southern boy. Thank God for where we're living. Thank God I'm Southern boy.
The crowd was hundreds deep, $50,000 and then some, still counting, raised. You can still donate. Just for a moment, the skies cleared, and there were signs of relief and smiles, and everyone felt a little normalcy for a change. We'll hear from some of those folks. My apologies. But I have recovered that camera and some of that video and a whole lot of other news that I'll be covering tomorrow as we'll wrap up another busy week here at Your News Today, and certainly much more so for a whole lot of folks in Johnson County who are going to be recovering for such a long time. But they're doing so with a little help from a whole lot of friends.
Just a head-on parade.
One tidbit of sporting news that I picked up on today while over in Johnson County, former Paintsville High School baseball player and MLB baseball player Johnny LeMaster has accepted the head coach position at Paul Blazer Ashland Independent. We understand that Ashland Paul Blazer High School has announced formally that they're pleased to announce the hiring of former Major League player Johnny LeMaster as their new head baseball coach of the Ashland Tomcats. And they said they're very excited for the future of the baseball team under Coach LeMaster's leadership and believe that his wealth of knowledge from his playing days along with his experience as a college head coach will serve him incredibly well as their new head coach. Here's tonight's Licking Valley RECC forecast. And I'll put that forecast over a busy little spider who keeps putting webs in front of my security camera here in front of the studio regardless of what I do. He's a dedicated guy. Or girl. Tonight, a low of 60, becoming mostly clear, light wind. We are in store for several nice days of weather on end, and certainly some folks, of course, all those in the Flat Gap and 172 area, well, at least it might help a little bit with their efforts. It's certainly long past due. So that low of 60 tonight will be followed by around 25-degree increase tomorrow. I think your Friday will start off with a little patchy fog before 10 a.m., otherwise sunny, 85, some calm winds coming out of the north-northeast. On top of that, around 5 miles per hour. A little patchy fog on the end of Friday as well, but still after mostly clear skies, and your weekend still looks like a winter. We have a little fog at the start of Saturday, but otherwise sunny, and the upper 80s. Temperatures picking up just a bit. 88 degrees expected for your Saturday, a low of 67. Clear skies start to finish. Don't get too discouraged. There is a chance of some showers in Sunday's forecast, but it's slight and it's late. Mostly sunny, mid to, and I think more than likely upper 80s again the latter half of your weekend, right at 88 again. And then we'll see a low that night of around 69. And keep in mind, with that, we'll also see a 20% chance of some showers and storms. That's late Sunday night. And then even though we've got partly sunny and mostly sunny skies throughout all of next week's forecast, we'll incorporate that 20 to 30% chance of showers and storms in there each and every day. I say it every night, but it's always the case. Much more news when we see you back here tomorrow night for Your News Today. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.